Alright, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be cleaning all of the tanks in the apartment. We're going to be cleaning the saltwater, the 1K, the 40 gallon, and I'm going to leave the beta tank where it's at. And I'm going to clean up the shrimp tank. I don't know what I want to do with it yet, but I think it's kind of due for a rescaping and kind of touching up. There's a lot of shrimp in there, and I think I'm going to start to need to cull some of those shrimp in there, so I might start feeding them to some of the fish in here as well. But let's get started. So while I was at my local fish store getting some more salt water, I picked up a Duncan head coral, and then I also picked up a flame tip anemone. This one looks like it might have just been split, or it just split itself. But I'll get some B-roll footage going of what those actually look like fully opened up. So let me start out by prefacing that I am no expert. I've been keeping my tanks at around 30 parts per million or parts per trillion on the saltwater, and I went to a local fish store near me that specializes in reef aquariums called the Detroit Reef Club, and the guy pretty much told me that I'm an idiot, but in a nice way. So I want to keep my reef aquariums at about 35 parts per million with the saltwater. And if I don't keep it near 35, I won't have as much growth with the corals, but I'll still get the same results with the fish as well. So I will be able to have them breed. As you can see here, I'm just cleaning the glass, just trying to siphon the water now. And that bag there for the holding of the corals that I had was kind of stopping me from vacuuming the tank. Speaking of vacuuming the tank, I did another water change about a day later after this, maybe 2 days after, because also when I went to my fish store, the Detroit Reef Club, I picked up some Saltwater testing kits for phosphate, alkalinity, and calcium, and my phosphate was super high in the tank, so I haven't actually neutralized the phosphate in the tank. I thought just by getting rid of all the hair algae and everything that my problem was done with, and trying to lift up this, I think it's 8-gallon jug to actually try to pour in all this salt water is so annoying. But besides that, the gentleman said that I want to keep it at around 0.05, 0.03, not zero, but near zero. Checking it, it was at a solid 1. So right now, I currently have Phosguard in my tank right now, and I'm trying to leach out some of that phosphate and actually hope to bring down the level of it so that way my corals will actually grow some more. And here we go with actually cleaning out the 1,000 subscriber tank. This one has had a big algae boom. Not too worried about it. I actually just switched out the sponge filter. The reason I switched them out was because the one that's in there right now is only for about 2.5 to 2 gallons. The one that I put in now has the ability to filter about 10 gallons worth of water. So there's a pro to this one. The con to the other one was I had to pump in more air to filter out more of the media, but hopefully this will actually get rid of that problem with the algae outbreak here. And then here I go with pulling out it's kind of like a sifting tool. I just kind of mess around with the sand, so that way we can disturb the algae and actually not worry about just a film of algae being in the sand. It'll also be easier for the shrimp to get at it as well in the aquarium. And here I go, just leveling back out the sand because I did make some hills and valleys in the sand. You just want it to be presentable again and actually look better. So we drained about, again, a quarter of the tank for this one. And then on this tank, I didn't even have a problem really with any algae. Just my normal buildup of all of the evaporates from the tank. So I just take a toothbrush, just scrape them off, make sure that there's nothing really on the glass. And then I'm just going to drain out about a little, like maybe less than a quarter of the tank. I'm having problems with this siphon. I think I need to get a new one. It's giving me hell for the past 3-4 water changes that I've done, where the water doesn't create the siphon and the trap that's in there just stays closed. So I think I gotta get a new one of these. It's kind of old. It's about 5 years old now. So, and then here we are with the 10-gallon shrimp breeding tank. I'm just kind of cleaning the filter this time around. I noticed that the filter was the most dirty, and I don't want to clean out the algae in this tank as much as I would like to, because I want to make sure that the shrimp don't live on just a pellet diet. I want them to actually clean off algae on the glass, in the plants, and actually thrive on more of a omnivore type of diet more than just a pellet / carnivore diet. And then again, we're just draining about a quarter of this tank as well. I noticed that over down in this area that a lot of the shrimp always hang out in this area, and there's an excessive amount of layings from the shrimp in there. So I wanted to make sure I got those up, because when I actually go pour this water out, I'm no longer just going to be pouring it down a drain or anything. I'm actually going to start saving it and put it in old milk jugs and use those for my plants, because there's tons and tons of natural fertilizers in the water, which will help all of my plants grow. And now we're taking this little suction cup thing that I had. I remember I had one of these laying around, and I figured it would be easier for me to just drain this tank by creating the siphon and just attaching this suction cup to the side of the tank, and then just letting it drain. Again, I'm draining about 5 gallons from this tank, almost a whole Home Depot bucket, and then I am actually pouring this one down the drain. There's really never any problems with the parameters in this tank. I never have to worry about overfeeding, underfeeding, or anything, because there's so many live plants in this tank that they just completely strip out all of the nutrients from the water, so I never have to worry about anything becoming too much of a surplus in the tank. And now here we go with adding back in our water to the tank. And listen, you guys know my spiel. I only trust Seacom at this point. Taking my Seacom Prime, and then my Seacom Clarity, as well as my Seacom Stability. I didn't have any more left of this video. I actually had to go and pick some up. But we're just going to kind of give each one a little shake up the Clarity a little bit. Remember, Clarity will cloud your tank. Once you put it in, the cloudiness is actually the Seacom grabbing up all of the floating particles and then dropping them out of suspension. And now we're taking our Seacom Prime. You don't have to shake these. I kind of just shake all of my Seacom products because I feel like most of the things that you're testing with ask you to shake all of your products. So I've just gotten in the habit of shaking anything that I put into my tanks. And now here we are back in the fish room. Again, Seacom Prime. I'm going into each one of my tanks and just adding in all of the products. Again, just doing a little light dousing. And then the stability, this is the rest that I had left in here. I wanted to use it in this one because the 40 gallon has quite enough beneficial bacteria in there. It's got a full canister filter that's rated for 100 gallons. So I'm kind of flowing more water through that tank than needed. So I don't have to worry about too much of the beneficial bacteria being lost in the process. I did a new step here. When I filled up the bucket to add more water in, I put it above the tank and just created a siphon into the tank, so that way I know I'm not going to mess up the sand or anything in the tank, and I would actually keep my aquascape as it looks now. And then we just go over to the shrimp tank. Don't really care about this one. I'm just going to pour the water directly into this one. This one has the blue shrimp in it. There was a blue shrimp crashing in that tank, and I've kind of just lost all hope for that tank. Again, just cleaning out this one as well. Adding in the water into this tank. Couldn't really figure out the camera angle aspect, so I had to move that. And then just adding in the water into this one. Just again, want to replace what I removed. Adding my products to this one because the camera was not on this one. This is the Prime, Clarity, and then again I added stability later after I came back from the store. Alright guys, that was it for today. Thank you again for watching. As I am recording this right now, this tank has only been up for, I would say, about 3 days or so. So I'm not going to drain any of the water from this one yet. But all the other ones I did do my cleaning in. We're just waiting on the bubble tip anemone went behind all of these rocks. And then I'm still waiting for the Duncan's head to fully come out. But once they do, I'll get a quick video of that and I'll make that B-roll inside of the actual video. But thank you so much guys for watching, and I hope to see every one of you guys soon.